Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. In today's video we're going to be using some Honda CBR600s, this one from 2005 and in the next one from 2009 I do believe, but for the very first objective I found a time trial challenge to be done as part of the career mode. I actually really like these ones. I know they're never really that hard and you can do them within one lap and you don't really have to push that hard, but I was keen to do it, and it's Monza and I'm not a massive fan of the Italian circuit, so why not give it a try, and hopefully it gives me a bit of a challenge. But braking quite firm now into the left hand side, so going in to the chicane as we get the change of direction. Very nicely done with the CBR600RR. Now let me tell you, I do really like this bike. I've not used it a significant amount in Ride 4, but I do really like using the 600s, and the Honda is a brilliant 600cc motorcycle, and I quite enjoyed it. The next race is going to be quite enjoyable as well, so definitely stay tuned for that one. But of course, if you are enjoying the video already, be sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing as well. But we now brake at roughly the 200 meter marker as we now go firm on the brakes into the chicane once more. Little bit wide, but we managed to hold it in very nicely. Small wheelie coming out of the very anti-Ascari, but we are still very strong on board the Honda CBR600RR. So bringing on the power, the time to beat is a 1:53.6, which I'm pretty confident we're going to nail as we go into the Parabolica section for the first and final time of today's Grand Prix, as we now go to the right hand side, lean angle, tucking in, using my X button, and now give it everything you've got, charging down the Monza straight, and hopefully we get across the line with enough time to spare. Across the line, wow, a significant amount of time. So we now go to Portimao, and it's time for another Grand Prix here in Ride 4, but today it is now time for Portimao here in the Algarve. Starting from 6th position, the AI tend to get a very sluggish start, so I'm going to pull over one moment and allow the riders to pass me. So shout out to Gian Binti Che, we've seen him before in Ride 4, as there's already carnage to start this opening Grand Prix, and now let's begin to pursue the riders. So we have Matthias Helgen just ahead of us, or Hagelin, as we go into Lagos for the first time. Change of direction here to the left hand side. Do fancy getting quite close, so we just touch the rear tyre of the Swede as we'll now move over to the left hand side and hopefully beat him on the brakes going in to the Tour VIP corner. On the brakes, nice and gentle, very relaxed, braking into the left hand side as we almost make contact with the Malaysian. But something I will mention is I did kind of, not struggle is the wrong term, but I was trying to get reacquainted with Ride 4 once again, because swapping over from MotoGP 22 and back over to Ride 4 can give you some difficult habits. I haven't forgotten about a video idea actually about comparing Portimao and MotoGP 22's Portimao for Ride 4 as well, so we're keen to see what the difference is between the tracks. Definitely stay around to see that video. But up on the inside into the Portimao corner of Gian Binti Che, beautiful lunge. It looks like he lost 6th position to Peter O'Donnelly as well during that move. But now going firm on the brakes to the Pedro Acosta Special into turn 12, as we'll now possibly have a change of direction. We're going to try and go a little bit earlier on the brakes here and then go for a really tight apex for Sagres. It doesn't quite work out, but you better believe as we bring on the power, we'll have it up on the inside line going into the gallop for the final corner here in Portimao. A little bit too tight to the apex there, running across the rumble strip, but bringing on the power into the slipstream of Adriano Torres or Rebecca Shino. We're going to try and dive between the two riders. The two Hondas have been separated, with this red one coming on through as we go very firm on the brakes for the Primera corner. So into the right hand side, clipping the apex just about into Primera as we now go to the right hand side once more. Now, something I did do to make things a little bit more difficult for myself. Now, unfortunately, the difficulty in Ride 4 is not enough for me, even at 120% difficulty, but to make things a little bit more difficult, I did run the soft option front and the soft option rear. Somehow, though, the rear tyre is cold. I don't really know why or how. It's 25 degrees here in Portimao, and somehow the rear tyre is still cold. I don't know how to work that one out, but anyway, we're going to be pushing quite firm now to chase down Victor Yepes, so we'll see how the tyres cope towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix. But right now on lap 2 of 5, Victor Yepes ahead of us. We'll try and chase him down as we go to the left hand side into the Craig Jones corner, very tight to the apex there, and then gradually bringing on the brake. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen down there to see how much brake is actually being applied for the Portimao corner. It isn't as much as you may think it would be. Here we're going to go quite firm on the brakes and then gradually trail brake in to the left hand side for turn 12. But as the lap times begin to tumble, we're going to get closer and closer to Victor Yepes. Granted, I'm not pushing as my 100%, but I do like the feeling of this bike and I do like the way it's looking as well. It looks quite consistent and quite clean. That's how we want to do it here in Ride 4, but going to the right hand side, a little bit too close to the apex there. We'll have to work on that. I tend to go to the close apex from MotoGP 22, but driving down now with a big long straight. Front tyre is getting warm, the rear tyre is beginning to get to optimal temperatures. We go firm on the brakes. Look at Victor Yepes. Goodness me, looking like Jack Miller braking into Primera corner. That was excellent from the man on board the Honda. We're going to get super close now, going into turn 3 for Lagos. I guess it's just a matter of time now. Where do we fancy the lunge? Tour VIP is always a great spot. Would like to chuck it into somewhere else that maybe I've never attacked before. Maybe into Samsung, very difficult corner going into turn 8. But now going firm on the brakes. Victor Yepes is fancying this one as we go to the left-hand side. A little bit wide going around the outside. The long way around doesn't really work into the Tour VIP. But you better believe we may have a chance here for going into turn 7 in just a moment ago. Both riders bouncing. The suspensions of those bikes are getting worked out. As we now go into the final, to the right-hander of Samsung to set up for the third sector. So bringing on the power, change of direction coming up now for the left-hand side. Let's see if we fancy a lunge. Going into Portimao, we're carrying a lot of speed. Hard on the brakes will go into the Portimao corner. Into turn 10, we have the lead. So for the next 2 laps, I'm thinking we absolutely go for it. Let's really push this Honda to its limits, and let's see what lap times we can produce. So into the left-hand side once more. We have a 4/10 of a second, 5/10. It's going to gradually increase as we now go into turn 13. 10 to 1 here actually, here in Portimao, as the temperature has gone up a degree up to 26 degrees. So, oh, a little bit early again into the gallop of turn 14. We're going to bring on the power now, line it up for the long straight, and hopefully this time we can improve the lap quite a significant amount. Now the difference between MotoGP 22 and Ride 4 is the feeling and the weight of the bikes. I would say that's the biggest difference between the two bikes, as well as the braking and the physics in general. So I tend to find with MotoGP 22 you have to move the bike in really early to get the bike to move in, where Ride 4 you can move quite late. Still need to be moving early, but a little bit later than you do on MotoGP. And my issue with the gallop at the minute is I'm turning in a bit too early, getting to the rumble strip and then trying to line the bike up. It's not ideal going into the final corner, but now braking here for turn 5, up by 1,000th of a second compared to the previous lap. Very tight to the apex, working wonders going for the tighter apex, and we now have a 2-second advantage to the Spaniard behind. It's really not a contest at this stage of the Grand Prix. Soft option tyres are working a dream. As we now go into Samsung, 27 degrees, the temperature's rising, and also we are getting quicker. This is what we like to see. Into Craig Jones, and then here we go. Pay attention to the bottom right corner of your screen. That's how much brake is being applied for the very difficult and innocuous turn 10. 8/10 of a second separates us from the fastest lap time of today, which was set earlier, 1:46.688. I'm certain we're going to improve that. And I tell you what, we could be looking at a 5-second advantage to Victor Yepes very, very soon. Peeking at the graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, Rebecca Shino is not too far away. So potentially we could have a battle behind us, which we are sadly going to miss out on. But to the right, beautiful apex this time around as we bring on the power. Whoa, a massive slide! That was a monumental slide going into the final corner. Hearts in mouths moment for your race leaders. We cross the line. It is an improvement. It's a 1:45.756. Can you imagine how quick we would have gone if we didn't have that slide? Someone was just a little bit too eager upon the acceleration. But into turn 2 for the final time of asking. Temperature still at 27, so the tyres should really beginning to be struggling now, but I tend to go for a very smooth and gentle braking style. If you're more heavy-handed and you like to really pull on the front brake, you're probably going to find that your tyres are going to get extremely warm at this stage of the Grand Prix, but already up by 9/10 of a second at this part of the lap. Brilliant exit. Update on the electronics, I don't believe I've mentioned them yet, so Electronics are as follows: anti-wheelie and TCS are both turned off, and engine brake is always on at 2. So coming into Samsung for the final time of asking, careful on the wheelie, beautifully done. Gentle on the wheelie on the next part of the track. It does give you a little bit more when going over the rise. I mean, it is only natural when the wind goes straight onto the wheels, so be very careful before getting to the Craig Jones corner. But we are up by 7/10 of a second. We could potentially get a 1:44 lap time, which I didn't even realise was possible before starting this Grand Prix. A little bit wide into turn 12. Unfortunately, mistakes have been made, and the front tyre is beginning to scream. It's now getting to a deep orange. It could be red by the end of this lap, but a 7-second advantage has been dropped on the lap time. But this time around, we're going to focus on not getting a massive slide coming out of the gulp, and beautifully done this time around. Bring on the power, bring on the acceleration. We are going to fly across the line with another victory here in Ride 4. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to see a particular bike or particular challenge, let me know in the comments as well. But upon that note, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.